Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Transformer. So today, I today's video is going to be a little bit different. So in my videos, I prefer to focus on hopeful things, mostly positive things, inspiring things. But today, I think I might want to get into a scary thing. And yep, right now, few things outside of war is scarier than AI. Now, before I get into the meat of what I will be discussing, I want to be clear I'm not a hater of AI. I believe AI can do good things, but I believe in smaller AI models, like a model just to say do medical diagnosis. I think that would be amazing. And a model to say handle climate change, that would be amazing. What I don't think we need is a single model that does everything. And I think that's what the AI companies out there right now, OpenAI, Anthropic, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, are trying to chase right now. They're trying to chase an all in one AI, and I don't think it's really all that efficient if smaller AI can just do things on a piecemeal thing. You know, you want a medical diagnostic, you go to this AI. You want something else, you go for another AI. You want finance, you go to a different AI. I don't think that's too much trouble. Okay, maybe it's a little bit inconvenient, but the alternative I think might be pretty bad. So today I want to talk about something suspicious going on with AI. So, like I said, I'm not against AI, but I don't like it when AI is suspicious. So what do I mean by that? So I've been following someone named Ed Zitron for quite a while. He has his own website. It's called Where's Your Ed? And I go there once in a while to check up on AI according to his point of view. And for anyone out there who's a little bit tired of the AI cheerleading, how everywhere you go, it's everybody's talking about AI and how awesome it is. Well, Ed Citron's page can sober that up for you in a minute. And one of the things he keeps hammering on is that AI is very inefficient for the money you put into it. Or to put it in another way, AI could run out of money. Like there's so much money that has already been invested in AI, but all the companies, including the biggest one like Anthropic and OpenAI, they are nowhere near close to recovering their their investment. The money they put into creating the AI versus selling the AI doesn't match, and they are losing money hand over fist. Ed has a lot of numbers to back up his claims, and he seems to have a point, and that's a thing that makes me suspicious. All the companies out there, they're chasing the AI dream. They're chasing this one big AI. I think they're trying to create the AGI. Was it artificial general intelligence? A sort of AI that isn't just some kind of fancy autocorrect, but an AI that can actually do reasoning. And in order to do that, they've been pumping in a lot of money. Where does that money go? Right now, the focus is on data centers. Because in order to create a specific AI model, you need to first train it. And then after you train it and you get your AI model, you have to serve it. So training is very computationally. Serving takes a lot of compute. That's the word on the street, compute. It takes a lot of computation. Like we're talking, basically, it takes a lot of computing power, which means you need a big PC, like a huge chain of computers all together, which is why we have so many data centers, which is where all the additional data centers are coming in, because you need all that computing power just to train one AI model. We're talking, if my understanding is correct, we're talking about training, like having a computer on 24/7 for months, just crunching in billions upon billions of images, books, websites, what have you, as training data. It's just for months, just crunching all these training data to come up with a model. And once that model is done and set, and people want to use it, you type in your prompt. It goes to the model spits it out. That's called inference. I believe it's called inference, and that's basically just the AI processing your prompts. And that also takes compute. So you need a compute to train your AI, and you also need compute for the AI to think and then spit you back out an answer to whatever it is you're prompting. So there's a lot of computational power that goes into AI, more than what a lot of people might know. And supposedly, that's where the data centers come in. Because these data centers are supposed to provide the RAM, the GPUs, maybe even the CPUs in the future, just so they can get that computing power and put it in our hands. Except it doesn't really jive if you look at what Ed Citron's saying. If what he says is true, and that there's absolutely no way to make anybody's money back with all this investment into AI, and there doesn't seem to be any way to profit in the future off whatever model it is they're training or off the current models that we already have, then why are so many people throwing money into AI? Why is there still billions of dollars being invested into AI if it seems like there's no money to be made? And to me, that's the weird part. The weirdest part is that so much money is being spent now, specifically is on data centers. So much money is being spent on data centers, but there doesn't seem to be any way of getting it back in terms of profit. So it all sounds really, really weird. And you can call the executives and CEOs stupid for throwing good money after bad. You can say that, but you know what? I actually prefer that. If the current AI data center craze is because of dumb CEOs or whatever, I would actually prefer that, because the alternative is a hell of a lot more scarier. And the scary part is, well, the scary part is what goes into the data center itself. So if these CEOs and executives aren't dumb, then they know exactly what they're doing. And that means they know that all the money that are being invested into AI right now might never turn a profit. And they have all the data, they have all the stats, they have all the numbers, they have all the spending. They should know this. But then it's so weird then, because then why are we still building all these data centers? If people just want to cut their losses, then now is the time to stop investing. Of course, we all know one reason. If anybody blinks and stops investing in AI, that would cause a chain reaction, and AI would just tumble off a cliff in terms of getting investment money. Nobody's going to want to invest in AI. If any investor blinks and say, yeah, we don't want to invest in AI anymore because we don't see any way to profitability. If anybody blinks, it's bad news. The market on AI might tumble. But still, there seems to be so much going on with building data centers. So much so that every other week, maybe even every week, you hear a small town in the U.S. saying, no data centers, because the data centers are siphoning all their water, taking all their electricity, and causing noise and smoke pollution. There's all sorts of crap. There's people really rising up against AI data centers. And it's all because of rising electricity prices and lack of fresh water and whatnot. There's really been a pushback, but still, AI data centers happening. So despite losing money on it, the possibility of losing money on it and people's pushbacks, they still want to push through data centers, and many data centers. And I kind of wonder why. And one of the biggest clues is what's happening right now with computer parts. If you want to build your own PC and you want to buy some RAM, well, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. The prices of GPU has already gone up a lot, and now it's RAM's turn, and I hear that data centers might start using CPUs. So all of a sudden you've got your CPUs, your GPUs, and your RAM skyrocketing in prices, and all of a sudden nobody can afford even just a basic computer anymore. That seems to be where it's headed. And you might say, if AI really does fail, then all that extra inventory is, the price is going to tumble. We'll have regular price GPUs, CPUs, and RAM. But what if they're not going to? What if that is the plan? The plan is to choke out these computing components from ordinary people. Now, just to jump on a conspiracy bandwagon here, if I was part of a global network of, say, a shadow government or whatever have you, an organization that's devoted to, I don't know, controlling people, then what would I do? I would choke off people's access to computing. I would see what's happening with RAM prices and the chaos it's causing and the GPU prices, and I would think, wow, this is something, right? And honestly, it's kind of pretty scary because the big companies, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, what have you, they can effectively choke out the supply of all these computing components if they wanted to. Also, they could put into the data centers, even though AI might be a bust, even though they'll never make money from AI. Because I think what they're really after is our computing. I have a strong suspicion that's what it's really for. AI is just a cover now. And I think right now it's just, they just want to get all the computing under one roof so that it's controlled by a handful of big tech companies. Imagine if a handful of big tech companies control all your computing. Like, you can't even buy a computer anymore. The only thing you can really buy is just basically an internet station. Like, you just buy a piece of device that all it can do is just connect to the internet. All the software, all the actual computing that your computer used to do is just done in the cloud. And you might be wondering, well, what's that got to do with control? Well, imagine, for instance, before I can even post this video I make, I have to first record it. Okay, great. Maybe it doesn't take that much computational power, but what if it does? And even if it doesn't take too much compute, when I hit stop on this recording, I can't just take the file that this thing is in and upload it to YouTube. I can't do that. I have to export it. And that just basically means changing file formats, right? I think YouTube takes MP4, but I'm using iMovie right now, and I think they have their own file type. So it's just basically converting one file type to another, something that YouTube can upload. And that, even if I don't do any editing on this video or any other video, that takes a minute or two. And that minute or two is my computer doing its stuff, doing its computational work or what have you. Well, if my computer is so hard up on RAM and computing power and CPUs, then I'm going to have to use the cloud to do it. I'm going to have to send my data to Microsoft, Amazon, Google, what have you, to their data centers. And their data centers will send it back to me after they've done converting the file. It's slower, less efficient, and also quite invasive because YouTube or Google or Microsoft or Amazon would know exactly what I'm going to say in this video before I would even have a chance to post it on YouTube. And suppose I say something that somebody doesn't like, the government, a billionaire, well, they can censor me right off the bat, right? Because they already know, especially with the use of AI, they can just use AI to, run some kind of detection program on my video. And if I say something bad, well, they don't even have to give my video back to me. Or they give my video back to me and flag me. Or if I post on YouTube, they'll be like, yeah, watch out for that video, shadow ban that guy. So that's just an example. If everything we want to do with our computer that involves computational power is sent elsewhere, I kind of worry about that. I mean, like a lot of people, I like to keep whatever is on my computer kind of mine as much as I can in this day and age. And if I can do my own compute with my own hardware, that's preferable than sending something to Amazon and then having them send it back to me once it's done. It's basically an extension of the whole you will own nothing and be happy. And I'm not quite happy about that. And I'm starting to link the whole push to have everybody use the cloud. I'm starting to link that with why all the big tech guys are so gung ho about data centers, despite the fact that they are throwing billions of dollars into data centers for presumably AI that won't make them a dime. So what are they really after? If AI is not going to make them any money, are we still chasing market leadership, or are they up to something even more nefarious? And I can't help but worry that, all these big players, they can buy up all the hardware if they wanted to, and then there just won't be much left for the rest of us. And then they would control all the computing, and that would be pretty scary. So yeah, I'm a little freaked out myself. So if you're freaked out too, maybe drop a like and subscribe, and I'll try to keep it on the up and up in the next video. For now, you've been watching the Spiritual Transformer, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. Peace.